I
Fair.
actually just want a complete rework. I want him.
I
I
wouldn't
don't want
mind
Ariel to
rework.
be a healer anymore. I don't want Ariel to be a healer. I want him to be a
I
fucking
actually
damage healer.
I want him to have punishment second skill and defense break and defense buff on third skill.
That'd be pretty cool.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
They've adjusted units and buffed units like that do Ariel's old kit, and they're better, right? Like
Yeah.
they made Praha better after they made Ariel better than Praha because Praha's asleep now, and then additional damage artifacts. They made Abelio, who has the attack bar push and the cut on like the 100% attack bar push, and then they've also made Lulu, which has the cleanse and immunity if no cleanse. So like, can Ariel just be something cool now? Can he like pick up a sword and just become this badass Chad? I want Ariel to one shot somebody. I want the first day that they change Ariel. I want to see Ariel one shot somebody's like Molong or something.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another podcast. Today, we got a full crew, and we got a lot of things to cover today. I'm really excited about the topics that we have listed down. And yeah, Gatakog, welcome back today. DJ KJK, it's been a while since we've seen you. Good looking computer, by the way. We got Lucky here as well, and we got Tyler. Yeah, welcome, everybody.
Thank you, man.
All right, so
How are you guys doing?
I sent you guys the topics of what we're going to discuss today, right? You guys probably looked through them, and it's some pretty hard-hitting topics. But one thing I forgot to put in there, and one thing I guess we could start off with is, what do you think about the new packs? Because this Ancient Transcendent, I was hearing about it. I didn't know it was real, right? I heard some people saying it, and then it was data mined, and then came out to be real, and it got released, and then I bought it already. So let me know your thoughts on it, and if you guys got it already or not. Anybody can start.
Okay, sure, I'll start since nobody wants to talk.
It always happens like that. Everybody's so shy.
I think if you're a spender in the game, so are we talking Transcendence and Holiday packs, right?
Let's start off with just the Ancient Transcendent Holiday packs. I mean, we can go over a different time later.
If you spend on the game and you don't buy this pack, you're actually trolling.
Yeah.
One, it's a Transcendent scroll. So you're trolling if you spend on the game and you're not like taking the guaranteed nat 5. If it's not an Ancient Transcendent scroll, a dupe is still 300 ancient crystals, which is an incredibly good value, to be honest. If when you look at the ancient factor for the Transcendent scroll, it says you will not pull something from your collection and you don't pull SF units you already own, it's even better value, right? On top of that, you can literally hold on to this forever. So like if you're like you only have like 2 or 3 more nat 5s you need to get, if you pull one from stones, that's like you just pull the other one with the ancient transcendence, right? If you're Patrick, if you're Y because I'm a G, you literally just wait till the new units come out, and if they're OP, you just pop your transcendent scroll instantly and you get one of them. Like the value on this scroll is insane if you have like 2/3 of the nat 5s or more, and if you don't, it's still a transcendent scroll and it doesn't matter.
Exactly. I think if you spend any money in this game at all, it's going to be a new nat 5 no matter what you look at it, the way you look at it, right? So it's just an insane scroll, as Brian mentioned earlier. When they first released the notes or details about it, it was like, oh, are they really going to do this? And then they actually did. And I mean, I think it's great. I think that they're trying to step it up every year. Starting off with the trans scroll, the blessings with the trans scroll, and now with like a guaranteed new nat 5. And I think it's a pretty good initiative.
Definitely insane scroll. Insane. Just, I mean, it's going to be, of course, if you compare like a normal Transcendent scroll and this scroll for someone that doesn't have a lot of nat 5s, maybe it's better to have the normal Transcendent scroll. But
just because you can
overall, it's just huge value. Just huge value. Like, it's huge.
How about you, DJ? What's your thoughts?
I don't know what I can add to that.
Did you buy yours yet?
I didn't get it yet. I have 1 in 15 to get what I want.
What percent chance do you have to get something that's good or helpful to you, though?
1 in 15.
There's only one unit that's going to help you in the game.
Yes.
What is that?
Ganny.
Oh yeah, you haven't gotten Ganny like.
Yeah, 150,000 stones wasn't enough to get Ganny.
The game is baiting you to buy the scroll. It wants you to buy it.
Still 1 in 15.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I think the scroll is pretty insane just because you literally get a nat 5 you don't have. That's like massive value, right? We're talking about probability of getting a nat 5, 1 in 200. And that, obviously you guys know how it is getting droughts and not getting 1 in 200, right? As well as, getting a dupe. So you take all those probabilities into account, this scroll's insane. On top of that, this 99.99 pack also has 10 reaps, right? And then like 3 Devilmon, 2,500 crystals. So all in all, this pack is absolutely ridiculous. Like, it's open. I mean, obviously, if you don't spend in the game, whatever. You're not going to care about any of these. But if you do spend, like Tyler said, if you're not buying this, you're absolutely trolling because it's one of the better value things that you could buy entirely in the game. Right? It comes once per year.
People would actually buy this pack even if it didn't have the trans scroll and if it was just 10 reaps and 3 Devilmon.
True.
I reckon.
True.
Look at the value. Like the trans scroll, like the trans scroll is just the bonus on top of the value of everything else.
True.
That's true. That's very true. Did you guys buy it? Got a cog, Lucky, Tyler, did you guys buy it yet? I'm sure you guys will, but did you get it
I'll
yet?
buy it
I will
later.
for Christmas. Yeah, I usually do a big session for Christmas, so yeah, I'll probably get it by then.
I didn't. I don't know
Made-
if I will, but I didn't.
I made the declarative statement, if you don't buy this, you're trolling if you spend. So I literally can't not buy it now that I've said that. Because it's true. It's true. When I look at it, it's like, yeah, maybe down the road I'll spend it. It's not like I'm not spending because I don't have the money to spend like on games and stuff. I'm not spending because I just don't want to. But at the same time, it's like if I don't buy this scroll, I should probably never buy anything else again in this game. Right?
Yeah, I agree.
Like if you cross that line where you're like, I'm never gonna spend on the game ever again, then don't buy this. If you are ever planning on spending in the future and you have the funds, this is a better investment than almost any pack that's coming out soon.
True. Very, very true.
So DJ said his is 1 in 15 for what he's chasing. What's everyone else's? Mine's 1 in 9 for Chongpong.
40% for anything that's good for me, RTA wise.
40%. Yeah.
Same. I got a huge percent. Get
Uh,
something good.
For Odin, I think I'm 1 in 17 exactly though. But I mean, there are a lot better units than Odin. I could get a Chungpung, I could get a Rika, I could get a Bulwark. It's a lot of better units for me, but I still want that Odin pretty bad. It's kind of like DJ. Like I haven't done 152k stones, but I've done close to 40 now, and almost 1,000 win scrolls with blessings.
Yeah. For
Yeah,
me,
that's
it's like
insane.
30%. Like I the ones I really want is like Chunpeng, Savannah, and like I actually put like Sekhmet in there because I think she's kind of nice, right? In like Guild Wars and even like side picks and like RTA. But yeah, those 3 are the main ones. I'm missing like I don't even know what the math is. I think I'm missing like 15. The cool thing is that they're not gonna let you get any of the Ryus or Bisons or pretty much the Slayers or what is that, Strikers if you already have the Ryu and Bison. And I actually summon quite a bit. Right, I have all the main element Bisons and I think I have like 1 Ryu. So that's kind of a nice thing for you guys that are curious. Will I get Slayers or Strikers? You won't if you have the Ryus or Bisons from the event. Okay. So it looks like all in all we can agree. I mean, pretty straightforward, right? I figured everybody would, agree with it. But it is something new into the game that I think is really, really awesome. It's better than their usual Transcendent Scroll. It's better than their usual Transcendent with a Blessing. Right now, it's basically an Ancient Transcendent, guaranteed new Nat 5. That's a good feeling, right? Even if you get something bad, at least you got a Nat 5 and it's something you don't have. So it's one of the few times you can do a summon and feel really good about it. Majority of times, right? Most people can feel
Until
good
you
about
pull a
it.
Water Bison.
Until you pull Christina.
I'd rather have Christina than Water Bison though.
Pessimistic people.
man.
Anyways, so that was the beginning, I guess, icebreaker to the podcast today. Could have been its own topic, but I decided to kind of just have it at the beginning here. We're going to actually dive into topic number 1 here. Topic number 1 is being blocked right now by the screen. Very good. Excellent. Very good. I will move it here. Topic number 1 is new 2A Grim Reapers and Howls. Let's do a full analysis on these. Let's pull it up. Right, I want you guys to pull it up here on your screen. And let's go ahead and go through them and see your guys' thoughts on what you guys know, right? We'll start from Fire Grim Reaper, and we're going to go down to Dark Grim Reaper. Or should we do Howls first? What do you guys think? What's better, Howls or Grim Reapers?
I think Howls are better for RTA.
Cool.
You want Howls or more RTA? Okay, we'll start with Grim Reapers then. We'll start off with Sath, right? If somebody wants to take away their knowledge or their thoughts about Sath so far. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna start.
Right.
Sath is kind of the Sath is kind of like how I wanted all of these Grim Reapers to be because of their base speed. I kind of wanted them to be the units with passives because of the stats. And yeah, he is the only one that got a passive, which is pretty awesome. The new passive does more damage with dots. It's like double, right? Yeah, it's double damage with dots. It's new. It's not a new mechanic, I guess, or maybe would you call it a new mechanic? It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Like it's nice. I don't know if it's gonna be used in RTA. Honestly, I don't know how Grim Reapers will fit RTA. Like some of them maybe, but I don't know. For now, I'm not too sure. But yeah, I think Seth is very interesting, and not everything has to be for RT as well. But I think the continuous damage is pretty good. It's a nice buff. It's a really nice buff.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Everything else about them are about
Nice.
the Reapers are the same, right? It's just mostly that the S3 that's a big change. I like the
Yeah.
part of the passive that if you skill him up, he's gonna get 25% more effectiveness on the additional part, which is
Yeah.
putting HP disturb and another dot on his own turn. Meaning that if he S2s, which is already AoE, he puts dots, HP disturb, and another dot. So what I was thinking now is because correct me if I'm wrong, but this increased damage for continuous damage is from basically 5% to 10% per dot. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah.
So that can be pretty wild. I'm thinking like some kind of combo with like a Bale or something like that, where you would boost up with like a stripper, right? And you'd follow up with him, Sath, double dot, HP disturb everything, and then you follow up with Bale doing more dots based upon your damage. And now every dot's 10%. You got 20% plus whatever dots Bale puts. I mean, if a unit's at 40%, it takes a turn. It takes 4 dots, takes 40% health,
we
right?
had
Or you get Tatu to detonate it all.
Yeah, we had some
Yeah.
cool
Ooh.
Tatu. Yeah.
Tatu, Rika, and Fire and Sath in TOA is a stage clear. If you think about
Water
it.
homunculus as well.
Whoa,
Just
It's
slap
the whole
that.
stage clear. Yeah.
Okay, well, you can't forget about Thrain though as well, because Thrain gets
Thrain's
dots and
insane.
stun,
Oh
which
my
is just as good to pair with that kind of stuff.
So I guess I was talking about the PvP, but I mean, that would just kind of be a fun team. But it looks like PvE, this unit is like godlike. This is a must build for
Yeah.
every TOA hard kind of setup, huh?
I think
Damn.
you can
Yeah.
make some pretty cool teams with him.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's fun for sure.
However, if we're gonna talk about like must build for PvE, I think he's your second one that you build. I think
I
if you're
agree.
doing PvE and you're like, if you're later in the game, you build Sath. If you're earlier in the game, you build Thrain first, because
Yeah.
the dots into stun is more important.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
Definitely.
All right, so it looks like Sath is a must-build unit for pretty much everybody. It's going to become one of those staple must-build units eventually for everybody's accounts. Let's move on to the Water Grim Reaper here. If somebody wants to take that one away and kind of discuss that one there, any changes that he has.
I think Water Grim Reaper sucks.
Yes.
His
Third
kit
skill
is
would
really
be-
good.
Yeah. Third skill would be really nice. Sorry, Tyler. Third
No,
skill
go
would be
ahead,
really
go
nice if the base speed was like 15 more.
Yeah.
That's
The third
exactly what I
skill
want
flip
to
into
say.
a 3-turn slow into a freeze is insane.
His kit with base stat potential is amazing. It's just like
Yeah.
no speed.
Yeah. 91
You
base.
have no speed units.
91
Yeah,
base.
he
speed stripper
literally
is
looks
massive.
like a Swift unit that you can't rune on Swift.
It's like Lapis, right? Like Lapis has an awesome kit, but Lapis also has 90 base speed.
True. Now, I will say this unit is pretty underwhelming, right? The skill is awesome. Strip and attack speed slow and freeze. Like attack speed slow for 3 turns. Like that's nuts, right? Skill's nuts. But again, like you said, I think the main issue with this guy is just base speed. So this guy, what do you guys think? I think he's gonna settle in as a unit that's built for fun for Guild Wars Guild Siege. That's it. Like maybe one of those situations that you're gonna control the environment a little bit more, and you don't need to
Sure.
be extremely fast, right? That's all he pretty much fits in my opinion. That's it.
Yeah.
Or I mean, another unit that puts dots. I actually built this unit a while ago because it's S2, right? It puts 2 dots? Yeah, 2 continuous dots for 2 turns. That's his only
So,
benefit. That
like-
skill is pretty strong.
Yep.
Right.
It's just hard to justify building like a Hemos for outside of like fun reasons, right? Because like if you're gonna build a unit for the for the dots, you just build a second Thrain. If you're gonna build a unit for the strip, it's like you just build Lauren,
True. Very, very true.
which is kind of too bad, but it is what it is. I was most excited to use him when I looked at their kits, and then I was like, wait a minute. Even if I ran this on Swift, it's still slower than my violent units.
Yeah.
Base
kinda
speed is just
awkward.
it's atrocious.
It is. It is pretty bad. Okay, moving on here to Hiva, the Wind Grim Reaper. Attacked enemy 3 times with the Wind of Heavens and absorb the attack bar by 30% each. This is a single target. The less HP the target enemy has, the larger damage becomes, and cooldown is removed if the enemy dies. It's kind of whatever, right?
Yeah.
This is actually the one that interests me the most. I really like the way the kit works.
Really? Tell me
the
more.
The only issue I find with this is that it's kind of hard to set up. This is definitely more of a Guild Wars Siege unit than it is an RTA unit, just due to base speed differences. But I think his damage output potential is actually insanely high.
He's got
Yeah.
decent attack.
Multiplier's pretty good for him, or what?
I'm actually
Yeah.
I'm actually going to try using this in Arena Rush in like 3 or 4 weeks and see if it works.
Hmm?
Because I think it would be cool to get the multi-hit single target because I can pop through Trianas with a single. So if I use like Zyros Hiva or something, it's a lot of damage, right? It's meant for slower comps, but you can actually cycle kill skill 3 and kill, and then take another turn almost immediately if you steal 2 to 3 attack bars. So I thought it'd be nice
Actually,
against like all the people who use Praha, really
like
tanky
even
Praha.
before him being second awakened, I remember he had pretty decent damage with third skill.
Yeah.
And now with better base stats, of course the skill's gonna be much better.
Right. He doesn't get a
I
turn.
just don't like his second skill though.
No, it doesn't.
Like I don't like his second skill mixing with these first and third skill. I feel like it's wasted.
I think they should have changed his third skill. So it says like they added the attack bar absorb. I think they should have instead of adding the acquires an additional turn for skill 1 and reset skill 3. I think it should have been if you kill with skill 3, you automatically attack with skill 2 at like a reduced damage rate or something,
Yeah.
kind of like Teshar's buff.
Mm.
I think that would have been a pretty cool idea to have.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Because then you get a really strong execute, right? Because if you hit someone down there below 30, you're guaranteed to crit them.
Right. Yeah, it would have been kind of funny if how broken do you think it would be if it gave more attack bar, like 35%. So if you kill something, you absorb every single time of the 3, you keep
Rotate.
getting turns, right? But I mean, you wouldn't kill anything unless you had defense break anyway. So it'd be kind of fun, instead of defense break, boom 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 kill, boom 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 kill, boom 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 kill, boom 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 kill. But I mean, realistically, I don't think you're gonna get that much attack bar absorption. Like even if it's 35, so that chance would have been kind of nice, I think, instead of 90%. But I don't know if that's too much. All right. It looks like again another fun unit, categorized as fun unit instead of a control unit. It's gonna be a damage unit now for fun, right? Water and wind water and wind green reaper here. Let's move on to the light one here. Prom. Somebody want to talk about that? Their thoughts on this unit?
Well, first I thought he sucked a lot, but I saw the first skill and I started thinking about some other stuff because they buffed his first skill. He ignores all death prevention effects with first skill.
Oh.
So I feel like there could be ways to put him as a last pick maybe in RT or something as a bruiser unit. But again, his base stats are so weird. He's like full on attack with base stats.
It's crazy
So
attack.
I don't know how I would build this guy.
I don't think you can build him as a bruiser. His base defense,
Yeah,
base HP. is
his
low.
base
His
like
9k base
completely.
HP, 472 base defense. It's like Perna with no HP.
It's too hard to do it. Yeah.
What about a second turn unit? You know what I mean? Because like that S2 is kind of nice. Absorb attack bar by 30% or decrease attack bar. Sorry, not absorb. Decrease attack bar by 30%.
I feel like he still can't be built turn 2 because it's too easy to one shot it. And
I
it's
feel like
too
he's
slow,
the
right?
worst Vrad.
I think he's Guild Wars Siege only, but I think he'll be incredibly good in controlled content. I think he'll be incredibly good in Guild Wars Siege.
Oh, you know what would have been awesome is if his S2 instead of just decreasing attack bar absorbed. Because if he absorbed 4, right, he could come back into an S3 and then like defense break stun. That would be a cool combo, which you still have to set up, right? They can't have immunity. So it's just another weird unit. I guess you guys can agree.
Yeah, I feel like the best thing for this guy would be if they just change him to HP type and make him an HP unit, and then his third skill scales with max HP, and he just becomes a CC unit that can finish off a unit if he needs to, as a Meek or something. I don't know. But yeah, I don't like his base stats combined with these skills. It's just weird.
Okay. Fair enough, fair enough. Last unit here, which is the one you guys were talking about a lot. Thrain. What are your thoughts on this, DJ?
It's like really slow Okeanos with dots.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Did you guys notice his base stats are kind of nice though? His HP is kind of high. Like 11k HP is pretty good.
But he has like 0 defense.
Yeah, it's
Right,
like
but
This
that's
is more
okay.
like Perna stats.
Like nowadays, that's okay though. Like having one really strong and one really weak stat, because then you can utilize artifacts, right? Use double flat defense artifacts, guaranteed
True.
200.
True.
So like, I mean, that's the kind of the issue that we have with Prom. No, it's like Prom has low both. If you had one that was high and one that was low, it'd be okay. Like Trevor's base defense is really low or really high, but his base HP is really low. So you can use like flat HP artifacts, stuff like that.
I mean, I feel like he's more like Rika. more than Oki.
Yeah. Rika.
It's more like
Free to play
Rika, I guess,
Rika.
because he's slow. He's really slow, and yeah, I guess.
Wait, this thing is actually nuts. What the hell?
He turn cycles
Wait,
like crazy.
He gets
Yeah,
another
he's
turn.
Yeah,
He gets
Yeah.
another turn for putting 2 dots, and then after that he S3s, which stuns, and if he stuns and they have dots, which he just put on them, he gets 20%. What the hell?
And then you skill 1, and if you kill them, then you get an extra turn.
And then you
Yeah,
do
he
it
turn
all over
cycles like
again.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it
He
has
can buy, he
potential.
can get lots of dots.
Damn, I might do some like you can have fun killing units in arena with dots. That could be
I
kind of
built
fun.
my train already.
You did?
My train, yeah, it's already built. I was gonna build Prom, and then I decided that I wanted to use Thrain because Prom is like cool, but it's not practical at all.
Yeah.
True.
All right, cool. So all in all, it looks like Grim Reapers. I mean, all of them. So the big winners would definitely be the Fire and the Dark one. Looks like everybody's gonna be building those. Dark one first, and Fire one after. The other ones are more Guild Wars type units, but all in all, not bad units, right? Not bad units overall. And the base stats, of course, from any of these 2A units getting a buff makes them a lot more viable. They have an opportunity, but we'll see, right? Because oftentimes when units come out or units are 2A, we might go, it's not that good, but we find out later that there's some kind of crazy combo implication for them, and that's what I'm excited to see moving forward. All right, let's hop over to the Howls now, and I guess we'll start the same thing. We'll start with the Fire one, and we'll go across. If you guys want to take it away. I did not get to look specifically at the Howls myself, so I don't know a whole lot about them. So it's going to be the first time I'm looking through them here with you guys.
I was really excited for Lala, but it's only a 75% chance to strip.
Uh-huh.
But it's an
Lala's actually
AoE
better than
cleanse.
we thought, though. Yeah, because at first I thought it was like a single target cleanse, but it's actually like your full fucking team.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
AoE
yeah.
cleanse. The wording is bad.
Wait, on the S3, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, on
Yeah.
the S3.
So
Remove all harmful effects granted on the ally. Attack skill is randomly activated in proportion to the number of harmful effects removed, up to 5.
Wait, that's
it can go
AoE
from
now?
all
That's what-
allies.
It
yeah,
is
it's AoE. Yeah, it's AoE.
It's
That's
just it's
busted.
very so it's poorly translated in English, but in all the other languages it says allies, not ally. So it actually is an AoE. So if you remove 5 harmful effects, you heal 75% to your team. Basically, it's 15% per skill one,
And you strip. You try to strip.
and you can try to strip. Yeah,
up to 5 times. Yeah, I mean,
What?
75 to strip is not too bad.
Like
you're most
what is
likely not
Ariel?
gonna need to
What is like
trip.
Ariel and Vela and all the Archangels? Aren't they 75?
50, I think.
50? I mean,
Ariel,
yeah.
their skill 2 or their skill
They're
Ariel
skill 1.
3,
They're
maybe?
skill 1
Okay.
strips.
I think it's
It is
75.
75.
Yeah, so
It
it
is
would feel the
75,
same.
yeah.
It would feel the same as them. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
But they laugh Ariel
except
in
she
the trash
attacks
again.
5 times.
Yeah, Ariel's pretty trash now
Potentially.
with these units getting buffed, to be honest. So
Yeah.
we'll talk about buffs and nerfs in a little bit, but so this thing basically cleanses your entire team, and depending on how many harmful effects, up to 5, it will skill 1 and strip your opponent.
Yeah, and heal.
What
5
the
times, right?
hell?
15% heal per hit.
Can we talk
Pretty
about how
strong
crazy the
cleanse.
base stats are too? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, the
the
base
Howl
stats are
have some
nice.
sick base stats. Like 99 base speed is okay, but they have like really high base defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, overall, not bad stats.
Wow, this is really good.
The wind one is like 770 or something. It's like way up there in base defenses.
Oh, okay. What do you guys think about the design of the units, though? I thought that was cute.
I really like it.
This is very cute.
I like the names. They call them Blank and Friends. So it's like
Yeah.
Lulu and Friends.
No
or
one
Lala and
expected
Friends.
it 100%. Okay, when we looked at the 3 thing in the hints, there's no way. No one knew that.
Yeah, it's true. All right, let's move over to the water
I
one
did say
here.
3
Or
fates.
actually,
I did say I wanted them to look like 3 fates, and they kind of emulate the 3 fates with the 3 expressions they have.
right. So the fire one here, what do you think it'll be used for? Aside from obviously Guild Wars Guild Siege potential as a sustained unit, right, or a fire tank or something like that. You think there's RTA implications for this?
Yeah.
Possibly.
I think so.
Possibly.
Okay.
We'll have to wait and see. I think Howls in general can be used in RTA. It just comes down to which ones are going to be used. They're all pretty good. This one has that strip potential on first skill. It's pretty nice. I didn't realize that the third skill did AoE strip because I was always concerned about seeing the up to 5 times if it was only a single target cleanse, but
Yeah.
making it
Yeah.
AoE is pretty solid. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Maybe.
What's nice is that, I mean, I'm thinking like back old school, right? What are the best things for like arena defenses? This might be annoying on like some kind of nemesis build on defense, right? all those defense breaking cleavers, like they get screwed because this thing cuts and just cleanses the whole team, right?
True.
Maybe even strips attack buffs and heals back some health as well.
I think you can use Lala into the double immunity low damage teams too.
Mm.
Because like if people are dotting you with like dots and stuns, you can skill 1, skill 3 for your heals.
Right,
And then
right.
skill 2 is cleanse as well. Double heal.
It's a 2-turn cleanse too.
All right, let's go ahead and move over to the water one here. Lulu and friends. Thoughts? Where is it good? Is it OP?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, Lulu was good before. Lulu just has insane base stats now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I used
People
to
already
compare her
using
to
her
Fran,
in Siege.
but now she's got like better stats than Fran.
I think the thing that makes Lulu really strong is that skill 3 is now full cleanse. It went from 2 debuffs to full cleanse. So like
Yeah,
you can
true.
use it really well against like anything. You can use it against Nephthys, assuming you get a turn.
Right.
Like you can use it against like the 3 or 4 debuff units. You can use it against Rikas and shit like that.
And again, base stats are incredible. 10k health with 700 defense. Like, damn, this is a very solid support looking unit. Like this literally gets added to the pool of like Franny Lucia. Do you guys feel that way? Like I feel she's literally now added to the pool of another
Yeah.
type of solid healer.
Definitely.
I'd like to say thank you, ComToUs, for doing 2A units that are not speed awakens, because God, that is infuriating. Bigger for Nards, like it's just, I don't know. It's nice that we have like units that get good stats, but they're also like kind of balanced on base speeds. I guess they kind of screwed us a little bit using the Grim Reapers having like super low base speed. They made 3 of them okay, or like 2.5 by like making them turn 2 units, but it's nice not having to like constantly worry about units that have 110
Yeah,
plus
I mean-
base speed.
Right.
They mostly made them PvE Grim Reapers, I feel like.
Yeah, which is not a bad thing, right? With the introduction of like TOA Hell, but it,
Yeah.
you know, there's some pros and cons to that as well. So, all right, looks like Lulu standard. I mean, we saw it in RTA, and if it was already working in those specific slots in those specific drafts, it's definitely going to be built and going to be that side pick as well. Now with better base stats and just slightly better kit as well. So that's good. Very, very
I
good.
think she's probably gonna be like a must-build Guild War unit.
I could see
Especially for
that
like 4-star
because
towers.
it's so safe, right? For like even Siege,
Yeah.
it's another safe option because you run out of options. True.
Yeah.
Very, very true.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Moving into the win one here, Chi-Chi and friends. What are your thoughts on Chi-Chi?
Fun unit. Probably pretty okay in 20-star and like special league stuff.
It's a single target attack that recovers HP of all allies by 50% of damage. Huh? And then absorbs target's attack bar by 25% to increase attack bar of all allies.
I don't know. I don't like this one.
I think it's weird that like you recover HP based on damage dealt, but you have like
Yeah.
a really, really, really low attack.
Why?
It just seems kind of weird.
Makes
But
no
like, I don't know.
sense.
It would be fun to try and see if it works. It's probably gonna be one of those units where you're like, this looks awesome, and you use it and you're like, that was a mistake.
Wasted 100 and something energy.
Yeah, yeah, because it's not good. I think if
Yeah.
it boosted the attack bar of your allies guaranteed, that would make it a lot better. But if you don't absorb, you don't boost, right? So, yeah. So you have to do damage where multipliers are low, and then you also need accuracy to land something a portion of the kit that's very important, which is I think boosting up your team. So it's kind of strange. It's kind of strange. So I don't like it either. I don't think this is gonna be used at all. I think this will probably be one of the last ones that people will try to 2A and test out. Okay, moving into light darks. All right, I actually don't know what the light dark one do here. So Shushu and friends, any thoughts?
This is like the best
Shushu's
base stat
interesting.
one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's so tanky.
Yeah, it's got insane stats.
Yeah, it actually gave up the attack, which is not needed on any of these, to increase the other stats. That's so good.
It's like the third skill is a bit similar to Lulu's. To Lulu's. It's just a different condition, but immunity. It just doesn't cleanse. Oh, it doesn't cleanse.
So it's worse.
I don't know.
It's just a worse Lulu. Wait, I don't get this.
Yeah,
It's kind of like
it
Louise.
looks like it.
It's more like Louise. I
Yeah,
think.
but why? But why is the kit for an LD worse than the kit of a water one? I don't get that.
Also, you got to remember, Lulu's second skill gives immunity for 1 turn.
Yeah, this one
two
sucks. Why? What the
two.
hell?
So the thing with Shushu that's really strong is Shushu gets really big heals, right? You get 25% healing for all allies, and then you get 50% for whatever the lowest one was. So if you have a unit that's like actually dying, then you're giving them
Oh, it's a fat
basically a
heal.
full heal, right? And then if you're full healed, you get immunity,
Yeah.
right? Whereas with Lulu's skill 3, it gives immunity, but it only gives immunity if it's not cleansing,
Right.
right? So
Yeah, heal wise it's huge. It's pretty. It's strong. And second skill just still has a cleanse as per normal. So this is just an all round consistent healer in your team.
I think
The
it'll
heals
be
are
a
quite
good
big.
Guild War unit too.
Yeah, I don't know about this one. I don't know about this one.
Okay. I usually have high hopes for the light and dark ones, but okay. How about the dark one here? Which is Cha-Cha and Friends.
dark one's hilarious.
Yeah, let me read it here, and you guys can talk about it for a second.
I really liked it until I learned that it can resist third skill.
Yeah.
Wait, can it resist the attack steal?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I really
I built
liked it until then.
I built it and it gets resisted. It's kind of sad.
It looks like the most fun one, but
that doesn't make any sense. Why can you wait? What the heck?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like I get being able to resist the strip and transfer, but why does it resist the attack?
the
What
steal.
the? That's so
Yeah.
that's whack.
This
So
is
is
weird.
it 3 different checks then? It's strip, transfer, and then attack steal.
That's
So
the
if
order.
you hit an immunity unit and it resists, do you see resist?
Yes. I'm pretty
That
sure,
is
yes.
tragic.
Okay.
That is so tragic. I was thinking this was gonna be like one of the best Guild Wars units. Like you could just
Yeah, I
skill
don't
3
know.
in Guild Wars and be safe, or
Take
like
somebody's Perna stats or something like that. It's like a what is that? A Hurti, right? Kind
kind
of.
of
Similar.
budget Hurtit, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah,
also
like-
good against like Sierra or Savannah in like RTA or even Barbara, like so
Or
taking
Jaeger.
the attack away? Yeah. Any of
Ooh.
those units.
Jaeger or Fire Monkey King after they get some stacks, you just skill 3 them and you're like, all right, well, have fun with 1,000 attack.
And all you need to do is build it on like super high tanky stats with crit rate and crit like speed, crit damage, HP, make it like super tanky.
You
and
don't.
take the attack from the other unit.
Yeah, but actually, I think you would just use this as a support unit, right? It's a support unit that's just gonna be on the field to like literally just like you said, take away the attack of the other units, and you don't have to worry about attack down, right? Because if this thing lands, then it stays that way for 3 turns guaranteed, right? There's no way he can cleanse it. There's no way he can do anything except kill you. So that's the power of what you get, is that you literally get to take out an entire unit while still being kind of like a sustain unit yourself. So
What if you make it a bruiser, a crit damage bruiser with the very tanky stats?
And then you miss skill 3 and do nothing for 3 turns anyway.
I mean, you have to
It's the same
risk
issue
it
as
for the
Pac-Man, it doesn't
biscuit.
cycle as fast.
It's like
It's
the
literally the same thing, no?
Art Masters.
Build
With
it
the
by you.
seal.
It's gonna suck.
Yeah,
a
it's like
mess.
Joe Gun. You skill 2 and you're useless for 3 turns.
If you land the seal, it's really good. If you don't, it's really bad.
Okay. Well, all in all, give me your thoughts on these Howls, and which one do you think are best?
Lulu best.
I like the Lulu. I think the
I
LD
think they're
ones
all
are
good.
pretty decent too.
I think they're all really, really good, and they're all got their own little niches to it. So I think you could probably see all of them being used depending on the play style the person has, or the approach they want to take. So yeah,
I think it's
I
gonna
think
be
they're
funny.
going to be really good.
I think it's gonna be funny when you see these picked in RTA. The same way how we saw Lulu being picked in like SWC, right? I think it's gonna have that weird, funny feel, and I think it's gonna trip people up that don't realize or pay attention to what these things do, right? As niche picks coming in, I think they can be very strong in that aspect. So I'm kind of excited to see if people will use these.
True.
Yeah, because base stats are very good for them. All right,
Base
all in all, it looks like the winners are Lulu, Sath, and Thrain. I think that's the 3 that people are gonna focus on the most. Any other ones that are guaranteed must build? That's the 3, right? Maybe the fire one, is that because you said that it cleanses everything now, right? The fire howl. So
Fire and light probably, but they're not as high up on the list.
Yeah, it looks decent on paper, but
Mm-hmm.
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay, cool. Very interested to see how these 2As will get the spotlight as the days and the time goes on, and people start building them and using them. So very, very excited to see that. Gonna move on to topic number 2 here, which is, I will let Tyler take the lead on this one a little bit more, because he's been talking about this for a while and he wants to, get our insight on it. Let's talk about artifacts. What should get buffed, nerfed, or changed, right? We want to see some changes in those areas because we've seen so far that when Comp2 has released artifacts, that it's really changed the dynamic of PvP. It's changed the dynamic of the game just from these artifacts. So what can we suggest to improve or make more fun or get into this, 2021 new meta that will probably start up soon in the next couple seasons? Go ahead, Tyler.
So Jeff and I have talked about this on podcast a couple times actually.
You guys have.
But there are certain stats on artifacts that are completely useless or are just really, really, really weak, and they're almost underwhelming and like a bait. Like you think they would be good, but they're not actually that strong. To start with, I want to say that I don't think we should nerf artifact stats. I think additional damage by blank is really, really strong, but I think that we're kind of too far into the artifact meta that you can't really change that. You have to just adjust things accordingly. I think nerfing like rune stats or like rune sets and stuff like that, same with artifacts, is not really the way to go. Like reducing additional damage by speed would be like a bad idea for the game. It would be good for the longevity of RTA, but it would be bad for like the player base. So many people would just be too mad and quit from it. So I think what they should do is they should improve the stats that suck. So the most notable stats that are terrible are blank stat proportional to lost HP percent, which is a flat amount of stat. I believe it's 3 flat attack and defense per 1% HP lost, up to the number that you roll to. And then for speed, I think it's 1. For speed under inability, I think it's a percentage of your base speed. And then the other ones that I think are really weak, I think crit rate increasing effect, damage dealt by counterattack, damage dealt by reflect, crushing hit, damage received under inability, and crit damage received could be adjusted a little bit as well. I think the issue with a lot of them is that they're too weak in terms of rolls. So things like damage dealt by counterattack, I think the 1 to 3% is a little bit too weak. I think it should be 2 to 4, because then it makes the roll a little bit more worthwhile, and it makes you debate, okay, do I want my Leica to have damage by counterattack, or do I want my Leica to have skill and crit damage? It's like skill and crit damage is always better, right?
Yeah.
It's just because the roll range is so much more. 6% of that roll versus like 6% crit damage versus if you get super lucky, maybe you get 2%, 3% counterattack damage. And then that's only when you counter, right? The skill and crit damage has benefit when you're skill wanting and when you counter. The revive stats are trash, whatever. They don't really matter that much. I think their ranges should be higher as well, 2 to 4, maybe even 3 to 5 instead of the 1 to 3 range. But Jeff brought up actually Jeff and Josh, Fate Memory, brought up a good way to possibly adjust things like speed under inability. Instead of making it just like a percentage of base speed, it could be like a multiplier. So like I have 32% speed under inability on my Molly, for example, to fight people who use Hathor against me so that she can rotate faster. If instead of that was like, because Molly's base speed's 96, if that 32% wasn't just like 31 and a bit, if it was like 41, 42, if it ended up being like a 1.2 times multiplier to the percentage that you gain, it would make the stat more beneficial. What do you guys think overall on them? I think that the interactions between these stats are kind of like really, some are insanely strong, right? Additional damage by anything is insanely strong. And then damage dealt to and damage received from is insanely strong. And then everything else just feels kind of weak on the in-between side.
Like I just feel some of the stats are just there, so you don't get the perfect artifacts.
Yeah, like
You know,
flat stats.
that's why I feel. Just like the flat stats and stuff like that. Yeah, you don't want them, but maybe it's healthy for the game because
I guess
shouldn't always get good shit.
I agree with you that we shouldn't be able to get like perfect artifacts, but the difference between these two things is that flat stats are useful on everybody. And
I
like
mean,
there
yeah.
are lines that are just completely irrelevant. They literally do nothing. So like if I'm building a I don't know, let's say I'm building my Sierra or something, right? Attack bar when revived, HP when revived, life drain, right? Like there are enough lines I think that are useless that we don't need to have too many of them, right?
Mm.
Like accuracy, crit damage, and recovery. If you get all 3 on one skill, it's like it's very rare that that's ever relevant.
That's true. What about so a little bit different here about the substat, but a substat that I feel like I don't really use. I don't know if you guys have found a really good use of it, but stats based on missing health. I feel like that one is kind of just like whatever. Maybe a couple units it's beneficial. What if they think they changed it instead of a percentage of stats based on missing health? It would just be a flat amount, right? And that way that it would accentuate whatever units that have low whatever those stats. Let's say for
It is
example Perna with low defense, right? If you're missing X amount of health, you'll get up to this amount of defense flat.
It is like that. It is. You
It
get a
is?
flat amount of stat per
I thought it
1%.
was
Okay,
percentage.
so the way it works is it's worded very strangely. The way it
Mm.
works is you get a flat amount of stat for every 1% of HP lost up to the maximum of whatever percentage you rolled. So the roll on there says like gain attack plus based on percentage of HP lost 6%, right?
Right.
That means you gain a flat stat for every 1% up to 6% HP lost.
Wait. So you gain 1% for every 6% loss? Wait, what?
You gain, okay, so speed is 1. It's 1 per percent, right? So if you have a roll that says speed gained based on percentage of HP lost 6%, right?
So
You
you lose
gain
6%, you get 6 speed, but it's only up to 6.
Yes,
So
but it's
you're
only up to 6.
got it. Well, that's how it works. I always knew that people don't really value and use it, but I know it worked exactly like that. So
Yeah, so the flat ones are really low, which is
I
like
didn't know that.
why people don't really use it, but the speed one is like beneficial on certain units.
Yeah.
Huh. So the only the way that they would have to fix that is just basically just to give a little bit more stats, maybe, because it's a high risk kind of artifact, right? It doesn't activate until you're low, and typically in battle you don't want to be low, right? That's a situation you don't want to be in. But when you're in that situation, you should try to get rewarded a little bit more. Is that fair to say?
It's weird because it activates really early, actually. When you think about it, like taking 10% of your HP is like pretty normal. Like most, one AoE is like, okay, you've lost 10% of your HP, or like someone has like Oki skill 3 or something, like 10-15% of your HP is gone. So like you already get those stats. It just feels really underwhelming to get those stats. And then you also have to roll into it to get that point, right? Like, so would you rather have like speed in proportional to lost HP like 20%, or would you rather have like 30 like 20 something percent accuracy, right? Or 20% something percent crit damage?
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, of course.
It's true.
That's like hunting for speed or something.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
guess that's true.
You're hunting for those stats, specific ones.
Okay. What are the substats can we change here that can make a big difference as well? Because I think that buffs and nerfs, which we're gonna get into in a little bit here, can make a difference in the meta. But changing these artifacts can literally bring in units into the meta, right? Multi hitters like oracles have literally started to dominate even more so than they did before, with additional damage. So why not? A lot of people say nerf additional damage, but what if we just make other viable artifact substats, right? That'll incorporate more units into the pool and make a lot more units viable. I think that'd be a good approach.
If you want to tweak it, you could adjust it a little bit by saying like additional damage isn't true damage anymore. It's like it ignores a percentage of defense instead of making it like 100% ignore, right? So like in Epic 7, burns and bleeds are scaling based on your attack, and they ignore 70% of your defense. They're not true ignore defense damage. So we could do a similar concept with additional damage, right? Additional damage can still apply on multi-hits, but it does, it factors in like 20% of defense or 10% of defense. Even 1% of defense is a significant amount of damage mitigation, which is kind of crazy because the damage mitigation curve scales really hard. So it's like once you reach a certain point, like there's huge diminishing returns.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, I mean, another approach they could do is just do diminishing damage per hits. Units that have multiple hits will get diminishing effects, right? The first one's 100, but the second one is just 75. The third hit is 50. They still get a benefit, but it's not as strong. So oracles would be 100% the normal damage on that first hit, and then a 75, and then a 50. And that would actually inadvertently kind of reduce the damage by like what? A decent chunk. A decent chunk.
I think I'd be comfortable with 10% per hit, I think. Either 10% total damage or I think 10% total damage is fair.
Yeah, they can go down
Per hit.
10%. 10, 9, 80, 70%. Yeah.
I think that's too soft of a nerf to additional damage. I think it should be halved per hit. I think right now it's too much.
Too
right
many
now.
units would die, I think, if you did
I think too many units are abusing how powerful additional damage is, and that's literally the only substat people are chasing. I think they need to literally like nip it in the bud right now because I just think it does way too much.
Right.
And
So go ahead.
I have like 250% additional damage by speed on my Oki.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting. I've
It's
seen Make It
nuts.
Bazoki and it's gross.
You have other lines on it too? Or just
What?
that? Do you have other like additional damage by attack, HP, defense?
Yeah, I have attack by lost HP. I have
No, I mean
by
additional
percentage
damage.
of attack.
How
Oh,
much
additional damage.
What other
Yeah,
additional
additional damage by 3% of attack. That's a grind. That's like a enchant.
and what else do you
So
have on it?
I can make it better. I got crit damage, skill 2, 8%. I got attack proportion to lost HP, 9%.
Okay, so
'Cause
250 additional damage by speed plus the additional damage by attack line.
Assuming 300
Assuming
speed.
you're over 300 speed, like just even if it's like at 300, that should be about 800 to no, that's 925, I think, additional damage per hit, 4 to 6 hits on every single target. So your Oki does true damage of like 3k,
Yeah.
like 3.5 to 5k
That's
almost.
just the true damage. That
With
excludes
just the
the
true
actual
damage.
damage of the Oki.
Yeah,
Which
which
there's
doesn't
a lot
make
of people are crit damage, right?
he's like 280 on Biowill though, on crit damage.
Yeah. So I would say that I would say the suggestion that I made is actually not a bad start from going from 100% in the first hit to 75 to 50, and then maybe just cap it at a 50. So units that have more than 3 hits will be doing half the damage that they're doing before, right? And I think that might be better for the ecosystem, so that people are now pushed to not, they're not able to build their unit as tanky, or if they do, they don't have as much damage, right? They might go for more attack or more stats to do damage and hold back on the tankiness stats because they can't rely on just additional damage to deal damage anymore now. So it'll definitely change it up a little bit.
Yeah. Maybe 10% is a little bit too late. I'm scared to nerf. My approach to nerfs is that like I never want things to be nerfed to the point where they're useless. I always want to like scale things back. Even if it takes 2 different patches, I would rather that because I think it's better for the longevity of the game usually. Right.
That's true, but
I
certain
agree
times,
that additional damage is nuts. It needs to be nerfed, right?
right.
But I'm scared that if we do 50-50, like 75-50 and then keep it at 50, it might be too much because it's really hard for them to nerf it and then go back the other way.
Right, it's true. But when it comes to nerfs, if you nerf the something in a category that's the strongest, it's usually good for the ecosystem because it actually promotes everything else that was weaker. Because now the strongest, most dominant thing in the ecosystem is now nerf. It gives an opportunity for other things to shine, right? So there is that. But I agree, right? If we nerf a bunch of different things that are like in the medium or a little bit overly tuned stuff, then it kind of sucks, right? It becomes not used. But if we take that thing at the top right now down, it gives other opportunities for things to push up, which is what we want to try to do, right? Want to change the
I think that's
ecosystem.
spot on. I think a lot of people are just chasing additional damage because it is so much stronger than every other substat right now. Except for like potentially in some of the units like crit damage, additional crit damage, right? That's probably the only other thing that you might chase. But we don't know what else maybe is good purely because of how strong additional damage stands out to everything else.
Yeah.
Everyone's kind of just focusing on additional damage because it makes such a big impact. Yeah, I mean accuracy is probably another one that's really good. But yeah, I think if they lowered how strong additional damage is to the rest, maybe others may just like there may be a bit more focus on the other stats. But there are some that clearly need a change. Like I think attack bar and like revive, HP and revive, those can be like out of 0 at the start of that. You know what I mean? Like some of those could be a lot bigger. How much better would a monster be? Let's say if they came back with like 40% attack bar or like 30 or 40% more HP. How much better would that substat actually look, for example?
Yeah, I mean, it would be great.
Even if it was like 4 to 6, right? You perfectly max roll that 30% HP revive. It's like, it's not really that strong, but it's also like kind of nice to have. It might catch somebody off guard.
Yeah.
I really don't like that people put the revive attack bar on Perna, because then it just pushes their Perna in front of their defense break, and then you're fucked.
Yeah, why do people do that? That's kind of weird.
I don't know. It tilts me.
Yeah, the same reason why people put units rune on Nemesis, even though they're damage dealers, because it pushes them in front of their defense breakers, and they never go after the defense breakers anymore. Like Chow, like Light Vamp. I made that mistake a long time ago as well.
I think that applies more in Guild Wars than it does in RTA. Because in RTA, you really don't see that many defense breakers anymore. It's like not like you see them, but it's not as common of a thing. It's like your defense breaker. It's like it's a bonus.
Vigor, Vanessa.
So many Xingzhe, like everybody else.
The thing is, but like that when you pick those Sing comps, it's like Sing is your main damage, right? Like your defense breaker is the main damage dealer, right? With Vigor, it's like Vigor is also the main damage dealer, right? There's not as much of this like setup defense break into a one shot. Like it exists. Don't get me wrong, it exists. I used it yesterday on a lot of games, but that's because I was playing really slow matches. But for the most part, it's like the defense breakers that you have are just like the bonus effect, right? Like Chung Pung, the bonus effect is a defense break. I also don't see Vanessa that much, so I think maybe I'm skewed in that perspective.
Right. Well, I
I
mean,
don't
an
think
example would be like, there's not too
Jaeger
many that
actually-
people ruin Nem, but like Jaeger, some people have made a mistake of ruining on Nem, and then you're just screwed on Jaeger forever now because you did that, right? Any setup that you ever had is all gone. You can never set it up again with a Jaeger on Nem, right? So that's why Nem, in my opinion, doesn't really work on those units. It works on units like, let's say, Gato, or units that like Agar was good as well because it doesn't really care, right? It just moves. It just needs to keep moving, right? It has a lot more utility just moving than anything.
Jaeger doesn't need setup.
Yeah.
Well, you
Jaeger
still want the
does-
defense, Rick. You
he
still want the
just-
defense, Rick.
He just goes through.
Yeah, true. His S2 is freaking ridiculous once he's
Yeah.
set up.
It's stupid.
Okay. Looks like we had some good touchings on artifacts again. Hopefully we can bring in maybe in the future Jeff and Faint. I'd like to do that and maybe have their opinions on artifacts because I think that would be a pretty good change. But starting the conversation again about artifacts, I think that's gonna be a big change into the game here. We're gonna move on to topic number 3 here, which is the standard way of changing the meta. RTA season is ending, and with the end of an RTA season means pretty much time for a balance patch, or we should get one. What do you think should be nerfed and buffed? Right, talking about units here. It's
Ariel,
about time.
please.
Okay, how so?
Can we give him defense buff on 3rd skill?
That's
I
fair.
actually just want a complete rework. I want him. I
wouldn't
don't want
mind
Ariel to
rework.
be a healer anymore. I don't want Ariel to be a healer. I want him to be a
I
fucking
actually-
damage healer.
I want him to have punishment 2nd skill and defense break and defense buff on 3rd skill.
That'd be pretty cool.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
That's what I've wanted for a long time.
Man.
They've adjusted units and buffed units like that do Ariel's old kit, and they're better, right? Like
Yeah.
they made Praha better after they made Ariel better than Praha because Praha's asleep now, and then additional damage artifacts. They made Abelio, who has the attack bar push and the cut on like the 100% attack bar push, and then they've also made Lulu, which has the cleanse and immunity if no cleanse. So like, can Ariel just be something cool now? Can he like pick up a sword and just become this badass Chad? I want Ariel to one-shot somebody. I want the first day that they change Ariel, I want to see Ariel one-shot somebody's like Molong or something without
Actually,
defense break.
I want him to stay how he is, to be honest. I'm gonna go the opposite route. I want him to be that unit that is like what the light Emperor was supposed to be, right? Something that is so annoying because you have to kill it first, but tanky, yet also like heal so much that if you leave him on the field, he's gonna be so hard to kill anything else that's out there because of his sustainability. I want him to be that savior, to keep everything alive.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what I want to see actually. Yeah. Can I pound
I think
it? What the hell? Where's
Lightning
it-
Emperor does that already now, right?
Where's this copy pasta
Lightning
coming from?
Emperor is so annoying.
So you want Ariel to be a better Molly.
Sure.
Oh no.
That sounds
Yeah.
terrifying if you ask me. That sounds absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, give Ariel a passive. Whenever he moves, he heals and boosts attack bar of the target he heals. Let's go.
Just
Just
Molly,
make
but
him-
AoE.
Just make him a better Molly.
Yeah, just give him Molly's passive, but AoE.
Better yet, may as well just go a whole new level. Make his 3rd skill actually, instead of healing just his team, but take that HP from the other team, deduct it from them, and then put it to his own team.
Oh, ignore heal block? That could be an interesting
Ignore
mechanic
heal
as well.
block,
I like that. I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
steal. Just steal it.
Yeah. They gotta make something. I mean, if they make him ignore heal block, fine, but I think they might give a little bit too much value to that. Defense buff would be nice, right? That would be very, very strong as well. But I mean, he has a lot of competition, right? He has Lulu and he has what is it? He has
Abelio.
Lulu and he has Abelio that are both competitors to him that just make him absolutely garbage. Now, we have to remember he does boost, right? He does boost attack gauge. So there is a little value that we need to give to that, but he needs a little bit more. And he
I
could
think
be nuts.
Abelio is better though, attack gauge wise.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
cut's more guaranteed. You don't even have to run Nemesis on Abelio. You can run Will.
And Abelio provokes.
And he does damage.
And he does
actually
damage.
It does a lot.
And he does
Yeah.
damage.
He
And
heals
stuns.
passively in beast form too, which is cool.
Yeah, and he gets attack bar if you hit him.
Mm.
I think
you guys
maybe
were
they
spot
could
on.
maybe. Yeah, go
Sorry.
on, like go on.
All I was going to say was that I think you guys were spot on earlier, making the comment around the fact that he's in a place where he could just be completely reworked, and he could
Yeah.
be just changed and made into this brand new unit. They could come out with a brand new passive, completely rework him if they wanted to. Because they keep going down this line of making new passives. So if they wanted to make him a passive-based unit, they could, or they could just change his kit completely and make him more of a water damage dealer.
What is he
I think it'd be
awakening
awesome.
to?
Press.
Aerial
This?
resistance, I think.
Is it just resistance? Okay,
I think so.
I got it.
Yeah.
They awaken him so that he can awaken into a strong, like you said, damage dealer. S1. His S1 becomes a mega S1. 100% strip, mega S1, right? And he gets a new buff on his S3 that is called like Savior buff that puts it on all his allies. If any of his allies get attacked, he revenges them. 100%. Some shit like that. Like something different like that. I want it to be like an Artemil, dude. But like hits harder.
They give him speed awakening, and they give him immunity plus defense buff on third skill. Like
so
he would be
immunity,
insane.
defense
That
buff,
would be
attack age
so
boosting,
insane.
100 something base.
No,
speed.
no attack, no attack
Okay.
age, just immunity plus defense buff, like a Fran, different type of Fran.
But he
be
boosts
looking
attack age,
better.
you know? He boosts attack age.
Although to
You
be fair,
remove it.
defense buff
You
is
remove
not as
attack
strong as it
age.
used to be. Defense buff is good, but additional damage has really nerfed defense buff
Yeah.
Mm.
and attack break too.
True.
All right, blasphemy. What if aerial skill 3 gave you a buff that increased your innate resistance by 10%?
Wait, what?
Would you use him? Would you use him? Is that 10% chance to resist? Removed from group? What do you mean?
Sorry,
you mean?
me too.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't let him do it, chat.
All right.
25% innate resistance.
Basically, you make him budget Nyx.
Stop.
But Nyx isn't really like resist though.
No, it's not. But it's
Activation rate.
He's better than resist.
although to be honest, yeah, activation rate's just as good as innate resistance. The same concept.
If Ariel reduced activation rate, that would be sick.
I think if they
It was a
honestly,
fact.
if they just need to give Ariel, I don't know what the idea is, some sort of passive that's active on the field while he's there. They just some kind of passive that's strong when he's on the field. So he's powerful being on the field like that. And that might be good enough. I don't know what that would be. I don't know.
Every time his teammates get hit, they get 10% resistance and accuracy. Stacks up to 5 times. Oh no.
Oh god.
Listen, every time there's a
He's getting
passive,
removed now.
I'm getting removed.
it's so it ends up being so
No,
toxic.
I got it. Lexi's passive, but better. All the heals on your side are increased, and all the heals on your opponent's side are decreased. So it's a sustain unit that counteracts against mollies and those slow, annoying comps and slow plays. Because it
Like
counteracts
that area.
healing. Right? 50% healing reduction or some shit like that. That might not be bad for just being on the field.
Leica, Ariel, Wind Monkey King versus Molly teams every game. Every single game.
Or you could absorb their heal, half of their heal.
Actually, but then what if somebody has an aerial and a fucking molly? Oh shit, dude, fuck that. You never die.
You created a monster.
Hmm.
I don't know, man.
But some kind of passive, you know what I'm saying? Like if it gives some kind of passive that fits in there, I think it would be good. Something.
just do something that makes him good and not OP. Because we don't need more OP units. We need the OP units nerfed. And the useless stuff to be good.
Yeah. Well, the
Not
thing
OP.
I'm excited the most to see is going to be Slayers and Strikers, Ryus and Bisons. They're going to be allowed into RTA, or should be the next season, supposedly, right?
It's kind of scary.
Right. So they're going to buff them and they're going to allow them in. So I'm very curious to see how that goes because that potentially will change the whole meta. The whole meta
Dark
with a lot of
Chun-Li.
different units.
Dark Chun-Li.
Mm-hmm.
I want to play with Dark Chun-Li.
I want a Dark Chun-Li.
I was lucky. I got all 5.
What are
I didn't
you?
get Dark ones.
I've got a few spares for you, Tyler.
Yeah, it seems like
Some-
everybody has Dark Chun-Li, and I'm
I
like,
know.
I want these units so
That's
bad.
all I summoned, man. That's all I could kick it.
Okay, but you have a Dark Bison. You.
No, no,
Congratulations, by the way.
Oh,
I don't have a dark.
yeah.
No. Brian pulled a Dark
Okay,
Bison.
so
okay.
talking about
I
the
was gonna
buffs and
say-
nerfs here. So what else should we get buffed and nerfed?
Buff my rates, please.
Nerf Molly. Just do it.
Do you think we have
5%.
to? Do you think we have
Oh,
to at
I
this point? I mean, it's been sitting there for so long, and it's literally shown to be
Just-
really freaking annoying that they just need to like. I know everybody's gonna give them crap, but just tune down the healing by just a couple % to start. You know, that's it. Give that as a start. I don't know.
I honestly want to tune down the glancing.
Yeah, I
I
was
think
gonna
the
say get rid
glancing
of
is
the
the only thing that makes Molly good. I think if you tune down the glancing, Molly will be really bad.
Okay,
Yeah.
tune down. So just tune down the healing then. How about make it so if she violent proc, she can't fucking heal. I don't know. Shit.
I just think you just drop it 5%.
Okay.
That's all you need. Like, so Molly is accentuated by having extremely good runes, right? But artifacts don't really benefit her as much as they do other units. Like the damage reduction does on left side, but damage reduction benefits everybody, right? The recovery bonus will benefit you less if the healing is less, right?
Yeah.
If you drop it to 20%, you lose a decent amount of healing because people are running like 20% recovery on her, right?
Right.
So 20% on your 25 is still, it's like almost 30, right? Or it's with skill ups, right? Is skill ups makes it 25?
Something like that.
Yeah, something like
It's
that.
like plus
Just
15
remove
or something.
glancing and give it Darian's passive.
Let me
Let's go.
check. I have Molly here. So there's no skill ups for Molly's passive. So it's 25%. So if you have 20% buff, you're getting like 29.5% heals, right? If you take it to 20, then you're getting 24% heals. 5% less heal is pretty significant. I think Molly's fairly balanced by the base speed. The base speed is really strong. Like having 95 base speed is reasonable for a unit of this strength. But the thing is, if you drop the glancing from 20 to 15, like you're dropping chances a lot anyways, right? I think Molly's biggest strength is the fact that you have to consider, do I want to play into glancing or do I want to, play into like something else like a Verd or like a Chiwu or a Chunkpong?
I personally don't think she needs a nerf at all.
What?
That's just my opinion. Just pull Changpeng. You guys don't have Changpeng. Just use Changpeng against
Nerf
Molly.
Chong
Easy.
Pong as well.
I don't think Chunkpong is like a hard answer to Molly though, right? It's
no,
good.
no. It's good against her, but not hard answer.
Who's getting removed next?
Yeah, we're just
Listen.
gonna remove everybody from the Discord.
Molly is one of those units that doesn't really have a real counter. That's why she's such a problem. She kind of counters everything in a way. Like
because
it
glancing
doesn't
counters all debuffs. So
basically.
it's really annoying. If you can't land
That's-
defense break, you're just kind of screwed.
That's not true. So glancing does not actually counter two things. Doesn't counter strip, doesn't counter resets.
Yeah, but that's
You
not
can-
debuffs. Right?
True.
yeah, but
True.
you-
Okay,
you're
I
not
see what
wrong,
you mean.
yeah.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
Because
But
the
problem
power
is-
of you being able to kill things on the other side is landing
Yeah.
a defense break to nuke something, right? Like stuff like
no,
that.
you're definitely right on that. I wanted to bring it up because I think it's important because
True.
a lot of people that watch the podcast won't know what we mean by that.
That's true.
So those are like separate effects. They're not technically debuffs.
Yeah.
Problem is like there's also chance to get resisted next to the chance to glance. So those are two big chances, and a lot of times one of those will happen. Like
And don't
Both
forget,
of
if
them,
you do land something, she'll just cleanse it with their second skill every 3 turns, right? So,
I think Optic is pretty spot on there. If you increase the skill 2 cooldown of Molly by 1 turn, it would be pretty reasonable. Because then even if she procs twice, like she has to proc twice, right? Procking once isn't enough.
That's true. And she's still going to do her job already because we can all agree her strength is being on the field. Is that right? Her strength is being on
Yeah.
the field. We can all agree on that. That's
Mhm.
it. She isn't even using any crazy skill. She's on the field and she's taking a turn whenever she takes a turn, and she has so much power doing that. So yeah, leave her as that type of unit. They won't have to be able to. They won't be able to cleanse and shield as often. That's fair.
Yeah, Molly's crazy. Molly's
yeah, I
crazy.
just
enough
think
that
the
I
glancing
put
is the
my best
biggest
bet on her.
problem.
Mm.
I still think it's the other units with her. I don't think it's
course.
that good by herself.
Mm.
I think you're kind of pushing the other OP things onto her and blaming her.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easier to turn off one unit than kind
In
of
some
very
cases,
good.
yes. Other things
I-
are too strong. Like Wind Monkey King, for example, I think is a good example of a unit that is stronger than Molly. However, Molly is a lot easier to draft, which I think is the biggest strength of Molly herself and her overall usability, right? People use Molly in arena defense, in siege defense, skill wars defense, and regularly in RTA. Right? Even like if we look statistically, like her win rate's probably not that high because there's people who use her really badly. But that still doesn't mean that she isn't a problem for that. She's too easy to cop out, right?
Do you see Molly's in Guild Wars still?
I do.
I
Yeah.
don't.
Does no one see Molly and Guild Wars? Lucky?
Not.
Still
It's
in
so.
Siege.
It's super easy to kill.
It just takes
Maybe
a long
maybe
time.
maybe in Guild Wars you don't. In Siege you definitely will.
Definitely in Siege, yeah.
Siege
I mean,
is
wasn't the
flooded because-
strongest
That's
Siege
like my
defense?
favorite one to hit is the Molly defenses
Yeah,
because
they
they're so.
just take a long time.
Okay,
They're
are you-
annoying. You can beat them, but they're annoying.
To be fair, are you using Miying against it?
No, I don't use Miying. He sucks. He's unruined.
So what are you just using like the Fang offense repeatedly?
You just use
Fang is
school
good
rule,
against it.
and you just use destroy runes. Like there's so many things that counter Molly. You use a Lauren.
That's fair. The thing is, in RTA, you can't use a lot of those options. Like
No,
Lauren is
yeah,
really
yeah, I
hard
agree.
and
RTA is
bad to
different.
use, and destroy runes are basically irrelevant. Like, you're never gonna get a situation where you can actually destroy enough HP to be good.
Yeah, I agree.
So fair point. Guild Wars less common. It's not really as much of an issue. Siege, it's probably an issue just because of how many different times you need to fight the same defense. But that's a Siege issue more than a unit issue. I
Yeah,
think the biggest issue is still like, I mean, we are mainly focused on RTA discussion and balance here, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna actually change the topic here to open discussion. So continue on with your topics here that we want to discuss. We got about 5 minutes left before we
Hate
wrap
when-
up the podcast.
I hate Wind Monkey King with a burning passion.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot more Wind Monkey Kings. That thing's nice.
That unit makes me want to stop playing the game. I literally just like I lose to it again, and I'm just like, I don't want to play right now.
it's insane.
He's so good until Leo comps.
The
So
2
good.
turn cooldown is ridiculous. Like, it's fine on Fire Monkey King because he doesn't gain 50% attack bar.
Yeah, it's like 1.5 turns.
Yeah, every single time. It's like his cooldown isn't even 2 turns. It's like half a turn basically.
Yeah.
His cooldowns at the right timing literally can cycle him insane amounts of rotations, especially if he's like going last, because he can boost himself up 50%, go, and then proc, and then go again, you know? So it's kind of crazy.
He crit my fire unit 15 times in a row.
What
My
the hell?
my Garo lost a 1v1 to a Wind Monkey King in New Broom this morning.
It's insane.
Ooh,
Not
that's so
because
crazy.
of violent procs, but because he revenge stun popped it and then skill 2 killed me. I was like, are you kidding me right now?
Yes, this stun is insane. I don't know how. I feel like there's a hidden passive. He always seems to revenge, even though it's like 35%.
Well, you're attacking your opponent constantly, right? So I mean, 35% stacks up.
Yeah, I
Stacks
mean,
up. But like the crazy
Crazy
thing is
still.
because of his passive, it makes him so tanky. He's so like he does a lot of damage and he's tanky, and if you don't get rid of him early, he gets worse as time goes on. Because he still gets the value of the damage reduction, right? With the increased damage that he's gonna get from his increased attack as the RTA match is going.
You're so good, dude.
Yeah, he's nuts.
I'm afraid of the CC.
He's so fast.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, I mean, it's
117
that
base
as
speed.
well.
Like,
And when you pair him with a Molly,
You're not killing him.
it's
there
so
you go.
much. It's so
just
much.
enjoy.
Yeah, like the damage reduction he has, the tankiness that he has, right? As well as you have the Molly there to heal him and to put all the glancing so you can't land defense break to even kill him. And then when you land defense break, Molly has S2 to cleanse and put a shield to keep him alive. Like, you can't even kill anything, dude. It's ridiculous.
Now this is extremely biased because I hate Wind Monkey King. I think there are one of two directions I would go. Drop one of the 2 numbers on the passive from 35 to 25. Either drop the reduced damage or drop the counterattack chance to 25. I don't care which one it is. I just feel like both of them being a 1 in 3 chance versus a 1 in 4 chance is like real. Well, I guess damage reduction is not a chance. 35% damage reduction is huge, especially when you can stack artifacts on top of it and you already have almost 12k base HP, right? 660 base defense and a speed awaken. You don't really need attack because you have so much counter strength and because you defense break. Right?
Yeah.
And oh man, it's infuriating watching how fast he cycles compared to everything else because you don't really need to be that fast.
Right. It's fun though. I mean, I do like to see new units in the in the pool that have never been used before. So it's good, right? There's pros and cons. So as long as there's continually more units like this, I think I'm okay, honestly, with the Wind Monkey King the way it is. Like he's strong, but I like more units like this shining. Like give him a little time, right, to shine. That's how it should be, right? Even Beast Rider's got a little bit of time to shine, even though they're still good now before they got their nerf. But give these units the opportunities to shine, and that'd be nice. For sure.
And the poor guy's been in storage for so long, and now he's shining. Let's give him a little bit of the spotlight for a while.
Bird has been shining for a long time. Please
This
do
is
something.
Double buff, man. It's the double buff that
Please do
makes it
something.
so hard.
Yeah.
You have to be really careful with units. I mean, I've said this all the time. Units that awaken into speed, you have to be really careful about how you buff them because like small buffs can be insane, right?
Yeah.
1 turn cooldown, like that's a big buff. That's not a small buff. 1 turn cooldown on skill 2 is huge.
That is.
Absolutely bonkers.
It is.
Oh, I like this comment in the chat.
What's that?
When Monkey King's second skill should multi-hit, so he can use additional damage. I like that. I think we should do that.
Multiple chances of defense break, right?
Multiple chances of
Yeah,
defense
multiple
break.
It's
Same multiplier, just
Like,
split in
vigor
half.
skill, let's just make it vigor skill 3. Might as well, right?
Uh,
Alright, time
sounds
to
good
leave.
too.
you know what?
Just
Instead
make
of,
it
instead of absorb attack bar too. Instead of 50%, it's 50% per hit, 2 hits.
Also give him a
It's-
speed lead.
It's just a win Ager. Yeah.
Okay, since we're talking about monkeys, can we talk about the red one?
Yeah. What do you want to talk about?
Like, he still doesn't do anything, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Slot 5 is the only slot that you ever draft him, and when you do draft him, he's usually solid. So there is that benefit, but he doesn't do anything to be in a higher draft or a higher position. So yeah, he
I
isn't.
see him a lot with the Wind Monkey. You know, as a pick with Wind Monkey and Molly. So those 3 together, it's tough to deal with them together.
Yeah.
Like they can be annoying.
I think what Ivan wrote in chat about being immune to attack bar pushback would be just I think that'll make him in a better place because right now he just gets controlled way too easily.
Yeah, like he still gets shut down by the things he's supposed to counter, right? Or
Just
supposed to
reduce-
counter.
I think they reduced attack bar manipulation by half on Fire Monkey King.
Like
You mean Masha?
Masha. Yeah.
They're trying to do that with the resistance passive to like have more
Resistance
chance to
sucks, though.
resist those pushbacks and stuff like that.
Resistance sucks.
Resistance so bad, especially with artifacts.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess solid podcast today. Actually, we discussed quite a few things here today. Looks like these podcasts are gonna start heating up a little bit more as we're gonna start giving our opinions on buffs and nerfs and artifact changes. Because coming 2021, that's usually when we start seeing changes in the meta, changes in the game, and leading up to SWC again in 2021. So this is the exciting part of the year where hopefully we see some buffs. And I think the introductions of the strikers and slayers, reuse bisons, will be very nice. It's going to add another flair to the pool, more 2As. And if Comp2us, doesn't do any crazy events, we can hopefully expect the next 2A in about 4 months as well. So, some things that are going to be flowing up here beginning of the year. Typically this time of the year, after the holiday, like Christmas and New Year's, it slows down for Summoners War a little bit until it starts ramping back up towards the, second quarter of the year. So really excited for it. Hopefully we get some changes done. Thank you guys so much for joining on the podcast today. If you guys are watching this, leave a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. We read it. Comp2us reads it. That's where your voice can be heard. All right, subscribe, hit the like, and I'll see you guys in the next live stream or video. Peace out.
Bye guys.
See you guys.
Nerf you.
Thank you.